Israel brought all its allies, Europe, the United States, Russia, and they have been ganging up on the Palestinians for 60 years. We tried to solve it as an Arab issue. That didn't work because the US and Europe, they just keep dividing the Arabs. They take Egypt this way, they take Saudi Arabia this way, they isolate the Palestinians this way, and here we are again. We saw also the extreme disregard and disrespect that Israel has had for the Islamic culture and heritage of Palestine. Israel's actions in Palestine have revolted the entire Islamic world. Now Palestine has become an Islamic issue where you find people in Sri Lanka have strong feelings for Palestine. Muslims in Nigeria have strong feeling for Palestine. Muslims in Afghanistan have strong feeling for Palestine. And all of them feel completely alienated by Israel and by American support for Israel.
Is this hardline strategy of the Israeli establishment, the military establishment, that have been running this country for 60 years, it's still a military no matter what they look at it. Is this really good for the Israelis in the long run? For the average Israelis, that he goes from 16 to 60 to army and fight? I mean, is it becoming even this extremism from that regime, Netanyahu and his group, a threat to the Israelis themselves?
Totally, totally. I mean, we can only go by history. Look at history, for example. Look at what happened to the French colony in Algeria. For 130 years, it ruled over the natives with steel and bullets. Look at the Dutch in South Africa. For 200 years or so, they ruled over black South Africans with fire and steel. And history says that that does not last. Sooner or later, you will lose that military power. You cannot coexist with people by being a fortress and shooting anybody who disagrees with you.
Isn't it obvious when you have a country that is so strong military among other countries that are not matching, there is no deterrent for the Israelis in the area whatsoever? Why should they behave? I know you're making a point on long term, but...
Well, I mean, at this point, if you look at the Islamist movements around the world, they have brought a different reading of the problem of the Middle East. Mm-hmm. They want to fight Israel, but their strategy says we should go for the head of the snake. For them, the head of the snake is the United States. Israel is just a Western project in the Middle East. It's a European-American project in the Muslim world. So Israel, for global jihadis, Israel is not the real enemy. The real enemy is Europe and the United States, who have planted this foreign Western European entity in the middle, at the heart of the Islamic world. So for the last 10 years, since 9/11, global jihadism has been targeting, Western Europe and the United States. So it's a threat to the United States. What Israel does in the Muslim world threatens us here in the United States.
There was a shift in American strategy, this war against terrorism that Bush naively started post 9/11. Now there is a shift in how they look at who's really who are fighting. We're not fighting terrorism, because terrorism is just a technique. We're not fighting Taliban, we're not fighting Afghanistan, we're not fighting whatever, we are fighting Al-Qaeda. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is this any change in, like I think the Obama's chief security says, jihad is a legitimate, ideology for Muslims, and they can defend themselves.
I think they're trying various strategies to split the enemy into between good Taliban and bad Taliban, between good Al-Qaeda and bad Al-Qaeda, between good Iraqi and bad Iraqi. But, I mean, they've tried to buy off. They tried to buy off the Taliban with billions of dollars, so they would give up Osama bin Laden. They haven't. They tried to buy off the Taliban with billions of, 500 billions of dollars was put on the table to bribe the Taliban away from fighting. It doesn't work. I mean, it's not everything can be bought off. Not everything can be, I mean, we can't assume that people fight us because they're misguided.
Desperate or... Well, I hope I can buy some more time, but thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
So
that concludes Fouzi from St. Cloud University. We'll see you next week and we'll have a selection. Assalamu alaikum and God bless you all.